Yeah, I think your colour's up here.
Oh,
just,
thank
just,
you
just like,
so
you know,
much
sort of
for
sort
that.
your, sort your colour up there. There you go.
Beautiful.
It's amazing when you come into this industry, just how much of the industry kind of like gets together over these 3 days, and you really get an opportunity to kind of see everyone. It's also great just like wandering around, seeing what new tech's out there.
There's many myths actually surrounding solar that doesn't work in this country. We don't have a sunny climate. Well, guess what? You know, we have actually got a great climate in the UK because it doesn't get too hot, and heat has an adverse effect on production of panels. But yeah, educating that customer about what a solar system can actually offer them above and beyond just some bill savings.
O&M is critical to us because as funders of the asset, we own the asset, and it needs to perform optimally throughout the whole life of our contracts in order for it to be financially viable for us.
Obviously, having spent time with you and your team, John, you know, and some of the things that we've been discussing around the management of assets and the importance of actually getting the systems to operate efficiently, which then in turn obviously helps those that have invested in those systems achieve the return on investments that they were perhaps first prescribed by the installer, makes them come to, you know, reality and fruition.
Having the performance data is absolutely key to go back to a potential client and say, there you go, there's your proof. That's what they're doing, similar profile, similar kind of size. That's what's happening with that client. That's what they've generated, that's what they've consumed, that's what they've sent back to the grid, that's what they put into batteries. However that looks, that data is absolutely critical.
That old saying, fit and forget, was kind of used and abused a bit, and it's never been more far away from the truth. We've seen it now, you know, there's unfortunately more and more mistakes. Now more than ever is so important to have a really good O&M package in place.
Taking the data and the analysis that you're doing and then tying that back to our original plans and being able to present to the customer, you know, this is what we said, this is what's actually happened, comparing the budget with the digital twin, with the actual performance. It's immensely valuable.
The biggest challenge actually for anyone in solar at the moment is this kind of lethargy from the customer. Because obviously a few years ago when energy prices were high, I suspect most solar installers' phones were ringing off the hook. Now that energy prices have sort of leveled out a little bit, it has less momentum, I think, and it's hard to get it up the priority list for clients.
The more that power purchase agreements are coming to the market and the more players there are, you know, from being backed by people like Centrica or Octopus and so on, you know, from their perspective, having, you know, invested in that project at that, you know, half a meg or larger or smaller, you know, it's really imperative for them to be able to deliver against their investors' requirements and KPIs, that they get the systems operating efficiently and get them revenue generating from the use of that, you know, export contract.
There is a higher level of delivery out there now than what there used to be. I think companies have upped their game, that needed to up the game, but there's always been the performer, you know, the companies out there have always performed at a very high level and always delivered at a very high level. And it's a competitive market out there at the moment in the commercial solar installation world.
The monitoring side of PV has changed massively since obviously we have the feed-in tariffs, and now we've got no feed-in tariffs. So it's absolutely critical that our clients have their system operational as close to 100% of the time as possible.
Having solar, for example, on your roof is a very visible, tangible message to your customers, to your staff, that you are doing something. Buying energy on a green tariff, A, can be quite expensive,
Well, yeah.
and B, just doesn't have that same impact.